Yeah, boy, we got you. What's happening, bro?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Everybody, let's all welcome my man, Dustin Whipple in the house. Hey-yo.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Great to have you on here. I thought this would be great, man, because, we did the unboxing video of this kit. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I got to see this probably, in my opinion, since dealing with you since 2005. It's probably the most highly anticipated release, I mean, in the history of me dealing with you, I think. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, close to the 15, but definitely a little bit bigger with the new computers.
that's basically what I touched on a little bit in the video. I think that's probably like the biggest thing as auto manufacturers, the most recent years get harder and harder to have the ability to tune them and stuff like that. So with you guys, hold on, what do you say? You cracked the code? Did you crack it, bro?
No, we have some very, very good partners to work with.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
that's a big thing. And I did mention that in the video, Whipple, you guys got to be familiar, obviously, with the brand, not only from, the Ford stuff, but also the GM and the Dodge stuff. Ford has carried their Supercharger kits and the Ford Performance, Ford Racing offerings for many years and stuff. So
yeah, started with the 0304 Cobra.
The Cobra, bro, that's when we met.
Cobra, exactly.
Cobra. That's exactly when we met, dude. Back in 2005 is when I think we first started dealing with you, man. So
I think so. Yeah.
And here
we've changed both a little bit.
Old and gray and kids and wives and it's great to have everyone on here. It's awesome. You got some good viewers in here and stuff like that. So, like I say, in this kit itself, I think it's most highly anticipated. Only a big reason is because of the tuning, the ability to tune it.
Yep.
Right now, I think you guys have the only ability to actually flash and tune for a supercharger on these, or in general.
Exactly.
Good feeling.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be first. Yeah, exactly. First to market. First. It's probably the most advanced kit we've ever done, the most engineered, most tested kit we've ever done. So this is definitely a worthwhile system.
I know it's been in the works for a while. We've been talking about this kit, I mean, well beyond before the actual car was released, and you guys, again, your partnership with Ford, and having the ability, these guys are providing you with, stuff to be able to build a kit like this before the actual vehicle shows up at your facility for you to test fit it is amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a very unique partnership, and it's just trying to, make it as good as possible, try to make the best products we can at the time.
Of course, man. You're doing a great job at it. Doing a very good job. All of our cars, pretty much everything has a Whipple on it. When Steve Turner always does his interviews with me about a new car that we pick up, I feel like a broken record. Hey, what are your plans with the car? I'm like, you really have to ask anymore? It's a Whipple, dude.
Yeah, he's had a lot of cool products, a lot of cool cars. I mean, it's been a great partnership for sure.
Definitely, man. So, all right, let's do this. I mean, I think the biggest thing that people want to know. Nice, dude. Cheers. You got your Monster out as well, dude.
Cheers.
Love you, man. I
nice.
still have some of the remnants of whatever, HPV or whatever I got in Vegas. I don't know, man. But my voice is still all messed up, dude.
Mine too. So, get better someday.
All right, so check it out. Let me remove by the way, instructions. I can't believe there's actual instructions in something the first time around. Good job, man.
Is that better than the last instructions I gave you?
Yeah, the one-liner on the instructions just said, go F yourself. Here's your instructions. All right, so all right, I've got Christy and them. We'll go through some of the questions towards the end. I'll flip through here and try and get to them, but let's start off here. Take a look at this, guys. Here you go. The actual head unit itself, Gen 6, 3-liter, right? What separates this? What changes did you make from the previous, Gen 5 3-liter to this one to make it this special?
Yeah, there's a couple things that you can see and a couple things you can't. Just from the outside looking in, the throttle body was one of the biggest things. We went from the Roval to a round throttle body, so that right there's got a 120 millimeter opening. So we have multiple versions of throttle bodies as options. The lid is a new lid, even though it's hard to tell. The back face is actually changed so that we could fit in both right-hand drive, left-hand drive with absolutely no modifications. So we clear the K-braces on both vehicles.
Like
That
this
was a
area
problem
back here.
prior.
Got
Exactly.
it.
And then obviously internally, the Supercharger is actually different with the different rotor pack. So for the last few years, we've been designing and testing what we consider the Gen 6. So this is one of the first products with the Gen 6 rotor assembly for the 3-liter. There's a small casting change to the inlet that also goes with the Gen 6 that improves flow. With the Gen 6, it's a new rotor profile, so we've been able to increase the performance throughout the curve, not only just low speed, but also high speed. It's more significant on the low speed area, but it goes all the way up. And we've now blurred the lines between a ported blower to a non-ported blower. So before with a ported blower, you had to lose a lot of torque down low, but you would get it back up on the top. With the new port shape that we've come up with, it actually loses nothing down low, but almost matches the exact flow at 24,000 blower speed as a ported blower. So we've been able to drastically increase the performance, low speed, mid speed, and high speed, so for a better all-around supercharger.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, like over the years, it's funny, like the generation of the rotors that come out, the Gen 2s, the Gen 3s, the Gen 4s, you know, the Gen 5, we've had like, I think we've even had like half models at some point or
We
another.
did. There was a Gen 2.5. Yeah, there was.
And
Yeah.
everyone jokes around. I was like, dude, it's like the iPhone, man. You know, I got to stay on top of it, like one of those gotcha games. You know, I got to keep buying the newest model. But
Exactly.
what's awesome about you guys is that you actually spend the time and the money to test and develop and make the products better. So like, again, each time it's always like, oh, hey, this new rotor profile with the same pulleys and same blower RPM makes, you know, a pound extra of boost and, you know, this much more horsepower than the previous version. So let's just say pulley for pulley, same size. This kit, I believe stage 2 comes with a 3.75-inch pulley and is rated for about 12 psi. I mean, what would you say the differences would be at that level from a Gen 5 to a Gen 6 or even a previous version? I mean, are there?
Yeah, we did back to back in controlled testing environments, and it's about between half to 3/4 psi more boost. So when we bring the boost back down to be equal, you see about 30 to 35 foot-pounds of torque and about 30 horsepower on the top end as well, with the same boost levels.
Awesome.
So it's significant. I mean, that's on a application that, you know, octane is limited, right?
Of course.
Modified applications where, you know, we're not trying to fight detonation, then the power gains are even greater. So it's significant. And while it flows more, the temperature actually drops.
Yeah.
So it's colder than before.
Well, again, I mean, that's like, I mean, part of it is making your product better. And, you know, the fact is, I know how much time and money you've got wrapped into testing these things. I think it was like, I saw probably the first set of Gen 6 rotors when I was out there last time on the, you know, right there on the table that had first been cut. And that was all based off, you have already done all of your supercharger, you know, flow models and stuff like that. And you know, knew what it was to be able to then say, hey, let's actually cut the rotors, put it in a housing, and then run it and see what it does. But you already had the modeling done and pretty much the airflow testing done on it before it was even actual made, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
It was nice in this situation. We had extra time to really evaluate all different profiles and lots of different simulations. And we simulated like every different scenario for low power applications to high power applications. And so by not having a gun to our head, so to speak, we had enough time to really fine tune the Gen 6. So it's a significant leap forward in supercharger technology. So, and we're not done. Obviously, we have plenty more still coming.
Oh man, you guys are never done. I mean, thankfully, I guess, well, the 24 Mustang guys get to start out with the freshest generation. You know, you know, they're not all, they didn't all buy the you know, the old gen, and they're complaining about the new one getting released. So at least we're right on that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Until the next gen. Yeah.
Of course. You know, I one thing I noticed when I was looking at this thing, I was like, you're talking about that size of that inlet and stuff like that. This thing is massive. Yes, I was definitely able to double fist this thing. It's huge. There's just a lot of room in there for air, you know, for volume.
Oh,
I mean, it's just
a lot of people have asked about like why we went away from the 132, you know, in general, the Roval shape was great for hood clearance, but we always fought, you know, idle control because it's such a big blade on a 5-liter engine at 700 RPM. It's a tough task, right? So
Yep.
the round blade we're able to seal better, and believe it or not, in this type of application, we actually picked up flow. We were able to readjust the throttle position to get a more straight shot, and we picked up a noticeable amount of airflow in this inlet. So this inlet flows more than the Roval type design. So we didn't go backwards, although some people think because it's a 112. But the Roval 132 flows roughly the same as the
Yeah.
112 round. And we also have a 120 millimeter for race applications that fits with basically no other changes. So that 112 bolts right on. There's
Uh-huh.
a little rubber sleeve that goes on top of that when you want to run the 120. The air tube is already made at 120 millimeter diameter. So basically all 112 applications get the rubber sleeve. So the air tube is already made for the bigger power.
Awesome. Yeah, so this one, stage one, comes with a 92 millimeter throttle
Yep.
body for the new Mustang. This one right here is a stage two, so this is going to be 112 millimeter. And like you were mentioning, your air tube assembly here, which we've seen some amazing memes of, guys. If you haven't seen it, these
Yeah, it
memes,
hurt my feelings, man. We worked so hard on that thing.
you guys are more than welcome to make. There's some very interesting ones on there that you couldn't even share just because of the world we live in these days. But
That's right.
you can't even
That's
say
right.
the R word or nothing, dude. Yeah, but this is this. So a lot of guys were like, would complain about this. But just before we make some more jokes about the tube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It actually came out really nice.
Yep.
I've seen the 3D printed version, and this is what you consider this. Is this plastic injection or mold injection, or is this
That's
rotomold?
That's injection molded rubber.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would basically go up to the throttle body like this,
Yep.
there. And like you're saying, this is 120 millimeters basically on all ends of it at the throttle body,
Exactly.
as well over here on both sides for the MAF and your filter. So for the guys that end up going with the stage one, it'll be the same tube, but it'll just have couplers that will neck down to the smaller throttle body.
Yep.
And then eventually a competition kit for you guys out there that do want to run, like, again, this is like an all-out race competition setup, who want to run the 120 millimeter throttle body. It'll bolt right up, and then this will probably just be either a direct connection or just a straight coupler or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. The advantage of something like this is that we don't need multiple points of disturbance of the air. So if we made this on hard plastic, we would have to have silicone hoses at all three ends.
Yep.
Which requires a much tighter bend as well as more joints in between that is going to disturb the airflow. And so this was by far the highest airflow we can do. We did multiple simulations in CFD to try to make sure we got the best amount of air from both throttle bodies when they, cross paths right there. It doesn't really, hurt the airflow. So this is a very high flowing air intake system.
Got it. A lot of guys were asking, like, oh, hey, it's got a single throttle body. Why doesn't it have the dual throttle bodies like the S650 have?
Yep.
It takes away from the S650 look, yada, yada, yada. People, I think really the main concern where people were talking about, oh, well, it doesn't have dual throttle bodies. It's not going to be able to make as much power as it would if it had dual throttle bodies.
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain the reason why for guys out there who may be questioning still why we went with the single throttle body over duals.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the car did not need stock throttle bodies from the factory. They have in their arsenal 80 millimeter, 87 millimeter, 92 millimeter throttle bodies. Could have easily got the airflow required for 500 horsepower with different throttle bodies. So there's more to it of why they got the dual throttle bodies. But for us, packaging wise, we spent significant amount of time trying to get dual 80s and then obviously have the ability to go up to say dual 102 millimeter throttle bodies. The problem was with the blower pulley in the position that it's in, which is a very tight, fit.
Yep. Right there.
You basically, the only way we could do it, I kind of joked and called it the hammerhead, inlet, and the throttle bodies had to hang over the top, meaning that anytime you want to change your blower pulley, belt, anything like that, you had to take this, hammerhead off the front. And then we had to really neck it down because the hood line is coming very aggressively down there, and it didn't flow is nearly as much air, nor did it look good. And frankly speaking, it was ugly. I couldn't possibly stamp my name on it the way it was. So I'm sure other people will probably go try to do the dual throttle body because the computer is very hard not do it that way, but it's a very tight packaging area, and honestly, I don't think it'll look good. So we didn't do it. So we
Yeah,
stuck with the single throttle body, and we proved that with a 120 millimeter throttle body, that's enough air for over 2,000 horsepower. So we've got plenty of air capacity.
got it. Yeah, that's the thing I was saying. I was going to mention that you guys have supported major horsepower through a single throttle body application that it's really not needed.
Yep.
It's not like there's a restriction,
Exactly.
at all.
Exactly.
So,
And we still have and we still have the 3.8. The 3.8 bolts right on, and we have the bigger throttle body options, single air intake, dual air intake, everything as well. So if the once the tuning is available, the 3.8 will still take the power to the next level.
got it. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine having it actually if you had that like front thing that's covered up here with dual throttle bodies and dual intakes.
Oh, it's horrible.
What a pain in the ass it would be to change the belt on the side of a road at the drag strip, and change a piece, some of that. You're talking about
then you rip a thread out of the part that you got to take off every time, and it was like, we tried everything to try to keep that symmetrical look, and it honestly, it did not pass just the aesthetic side of it. I just could not get over how ugly it was, and we tried so many different versions, and just as a wayside, I said, forget it. We're going back to the single throttle body. We'll make the Y flow as good as anything we've ever done before, which is what we did.
Awesome. All right, so we got the rotors covered, got the inlet here and stuff like that covered, the intake and stuff, and why you did the single throttle body design. Cooling, I spoke about yesterday in the unboxing video here. Soak is pretty much a thing of the past with Whipple superchargers, with the Gen 5, that inverted like upside down blower design with the intercooler bricks up here. We don't see heat soak. I mean, you guys have got the cooling down to a T. You guys done a wonderful job. So under this lid right here is exactly what that makes it better than pretty much anything else out there, and also keeps those IETs down and prevents heat soak.
Yep, exactly. For the pump gas guys that are running on 91, 92, 93 octane, there's really nothing better than this. It's some people kind of confuse it, but there's two intercoolers in there, and the air passes through each intercooler twice, and the water is a dual pass. So it's technically a dual core, dual pass times two lid. And it's a very unique application. That's why we patented it. And so basically you have each core has its in and out. And like I said, the air has to go through it, not just once, but twice. So we have a really high density fin, and the air goes through there twice. It really cools the air down. So we have tremendous IAT2s temps in these applications. And even if you let the car sit, at a gas station, and you start it up 20 minutes later, and temp comes up for a second because everything is soaked, up, it comes down immediately right then. And the sensor almost can't respond fast enough of how far the temperature drops quickly. So between that, we run the biggest intercooler pump we can fit in there. So we have really high flow. We have a really big heat exchanger as well. So we have quite a few different things that make the cooling just flat out the best there is in the business.
Yep. Real quick, so you're talking about the top up here.
Yep.
There's basically intercooler on this side, and then on this side as well. They're separate from each other, correct? Is it down the middle, or
they're separate, but they're butted into the middle. So they have a seal down the middle, and they're touching right there, so the air can't get by it. So
got it.
Versus other applications, generally, even like older kits that we had done before, we would have two cores, but they would only be in the runner section, right? So the air would go hit the lid, turn, and go through the core. In this scenario, it's got to go through the core, hit the lid, make a U-turn, and go back down through the runner. So at that point, it goes through the core twice.
Awesome.
So
and that's what we're talking about right there. The coolant basically in the driver's side and the passenger side for each separate core, right?
Exactly.
Cooling going in and out, inlet and outlet for cooling on this side, and your cooling in and outlet over here. Got your massive front mount heat exchanger over here, which I said the large one, because on the S550 kits you do offer an oversized heat exchanger. I guess with a design change over to the S650, it's not a direct fit, but you guys will be offering an upgraded oversized heat exchanger for the S650s eventually as an upgrade, correct?
Yep. It'll be coming right around January, February time, and it's a little bit smaller than the last HD LTR, but in this scenario, it's a better fit. So it's a direct fit. It becomes a dual pass, so it comes with the extra hose, and it bolts right into the same location. So still a very nice piece.
Awesome. All right, real quick, I got two questions for you because I had someone pop in here, and these are the ones I was asking before. When
Yep.
are we going to see the kits for the 2023 7.3 liter Godzilla become available? And I think you're probably waiting on tuning, I would think, at this point, or
Yeah, we've just been trying to get some of these projects done. The kit physically fits on the vehicle. No problem there. We have a test vehicle coming here next week, and then we'll. I would assume right now we're probably about 4 to 5 weeks from the official release
got
of the 23, and then we'll have to do the 6.8 right after that because it's the same kit, different tuning.
got it. So for any guys listening, when Dustin gives time frames out, it's kind of like asking a woman how many people she slept with. She's always lying about it or giving the wrong number. It's always a small fraction of the actual number. So if he says 6 to 8 weeks, consider it 12 to 14 weeks, something like that. All right.
The good news is we've already done the tuning on the 2022, and almost the only thing that really has changed is the transmission side is the new strategy. So we need to kind of tweak the transmission portion
Got
of the cow. So
it.
this timing is definitely much closer, and there's no hardware change. So that's what always kicks my butt. So the in this scenario, it's purely transmission tuning that we really need to do the final
I
testing
can't believe you don't have time to get all this stuff done right away, Dustin. I mean, do you do anything besides sit in your office and look at Facebook and Instagram all day?
That's all I do.
Seriously,
I'm
Dustin.
just gramming all day.
Yeah, exactly, right? The other question was on the 2020 and up Shelby GT500. When will we see a Gen 6 3.8 liter become available for that setup?
Yeah. The Gen 6, we are anticipating right around January time for the production units. We've done some samples and some race versions. I saw Evo
Yep.
ran it this weekend and had great success, won the race, and set low AT, and it's a big mile an hours and stuff. So that's coming. We're hoping right around January would be our current target. So everything has
Perfect.
been pre-tested, and it's just a production release now.
So, guys, we'll be seeing it around March timeframe, okay? Christ, man. All right. Let me clear my throat here. I'm dying. Seriously, bro. I don't know what the hell I picked up out there in Vegas, man, but
Yeah, sorry about that.
Good. Yeah, for real. So we got the sick cooling set up on here. That's why we don't see heat soak and you guys pulling a ton of timing at the track. I mean, even on Project Gold member and on my 2020 GT500 running your kits on there, IATs were not an issue at all. Very low.
Yeah, you could basically hot lap the car, right? And it
Yeah.
was just repeatable performance. And that's at a higher boost level. This is at a lower boost level, so it's even more repeatable.
Yeah, I totally used it while I was hot lap. Man, like these guys, when I take the Shelby to the track, they're like, dude, you're going to run it again? I should run right up to the line, dude. Run it down again, dude. Why not? Right?
That's right.
I'm one of only a handful of people that went 8s in that platform. So,
yep.
Hey, not bad for just a parts guy, right?
Exactly.
Got it.
That's right.
Real quick on the filters, are these also the filters that will be used as OEM replacements or no?
That's right. Yeah, identical. That will fit into the stock box, and it also fits in our version of our cold air intake.
Awesome. Okay, and then here are the MAFs, MAF housings for the system as well. Obviously, there's a pair of them because you're still utilizing both air boxes and filter setups. And I was looking inside here. I'm like, I don't see that stupid coiled up thing or whatever. But I guess this is your version of is that considered a carbon trap?
Correct. Yep.
And this is all stuff that you guys need to do to basically be able to get these things through emissions so they can be 50 state legal eventually. And guys all over the country can run your kit without having to worry about passing inspection, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Everything we're doing is to try to make the most amount of power that's legal, that you can put on, keep a warranty, and pass your smog without any issues. So that's everything we do there is CARB compliant and EPA compliant.
Definitely. Yeah, and these look a ton different from the ones that like OEM, like all coiled up and stuff like that. They look like a major restriction. This just looks like not at all a restriction. I mean, you're just right through it, you know?
Yep.
So
there's a lot of design engineering and going into that, and obviously testing to validate the process and stuff. But yeah, that's a very unique feature, something that we've worked with Ford and CARB, back and forth to get that to get that potentially legal. We're working on our 50 state right now.
Awesome. Good stuff. Moving along over here, we've got some fueling, obviously, because you've got your injector ports there on the manifold. We've got the fuel injectors in the kit. I believe you said we're using 55-pound injectors in this kit.
Yep, exactly. Yep, it's the what's considered the MU52s, which is rated at 39.5 psi. So they're 55 at 43 psi.
Okay.
So those same injectors that we've been running on the 11 to 23 Mustangs and the 15 to 20 F-150s.
Sweet. And we've got some beautiful, nice billet fuel rails that come along with the kit as well.
Yep. And we have -6. We also have upgradable -8 fuel rails as well that goes right in the same place.
Awesome. So eventually, once you know, we're able to turn these things up and put a smaller pulley on there and maybe do some custom tuning with some E85. You guys out there that want to run like a race setup, you can get the ones with the -8. I've run your -6 rails on Goldmember when it's we didn't have any fueling issues at all, but I could see people just want to have that extra headroom to know that, you know, there's more volume there if needed. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, usually around 1,000 rear wheels when we say it's good time to go to -8. You know?
Got it. Spark plugs. We've got some motorcraft plugs here.
Yep, GT500 plugs right there. They're one heat range colder than stock.
Okay.
And they're pre-gapped, so you can just, you know, other than double checking them, you can drop them right in, which is
got it. So these are based off of the Predator spark plugs. So for you guys that are not familiar, Predator is the 2020 and up GT500 motor, which is the 5.2 liter crossplane with the 2.65 liter supercharger on it. So these are meant for supercharged applications to be colder than factory. Basically,
heavy duty, built for the temperature, everything.
Awesome. Good stuff. Got your high flow intercooler pump right here as well. You got your intercooler reservoir here. You know, you guys done such a good job on all this stuff over the years, man. I'm really proud of you, bro. To design something like this, and forget even just designing it, coming up with the idea, then actually making it happen. You know, I mention this a lot in all my videos, but it's true, down to every little nut, bolt, O-ring, hose, fitting, everything to make one kit happen is beyond what most people can actually comprehend.
Yeah, and then try to duplicate that, you know, times a couple hundred a week. It'd be
hundreds of kits.
It's it's a lot of moving parts stuff, but it's you know, we keep adapting and advancing, you know, to better serve the market and make better parts, you know, consistently. That's been one of the things that we've never just sat on one kit or one way of how we do it. We just keep going further and further, you know, forward as we get better.
Of course, man. You learn as you go along. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. There was definitely no book for this.
Before I get over to the actual Tomahawk device and talk a little bit about the tuning stuff.
Yep.
Real quick, differences between stage 1, stage 2, are pulleys the same size on them?
Yes, right now they are. The final release may see one pulley change different, but right now they're the same. The main difference is in the calibration, the rev limiter, the shift points, the spark. We're talking small differences, but there's still a difference. And the throttle bodies, right? So the stage 1 uses the
2 to a 112.
Yeah. So the 92 is the stock GT500 from the Predator engine throttle body. So it's a digital 92 millimeter throttle body, and that's the entry level version of the kit. And then with a stage 2 is the 112 millimeter with a little bit higher rev limiter and a little more aggressive calibration.
Okay. And now the differences between also most of everything else though would be the same in the kit besides throttle body and some calibration stuff, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And same injectors, the base cowl is all identical. Just basically the shift points, rev limiters, the little thing to just extract that little bit more power out of it.
Got it. There hasn't been much stuff released yet from you guys regarding the Dark Horse kit. However, I saw today you guys actually have a Dark Horse there.
Yep.
In front of it that's going on there, so which is nice to see. We're picking up our Dark Horse. It just came in, picking it up hopefully tomorrow in Blue Ember. But so the difference now, what is the difference between the GT kit and a Dark Horse kit? Is there much of a difference between the two? I would think they use pretty much all the same components, same blowers, same throttle bodies for the different stages. Is it just calibration wise the difference, or?
Yeah. but to us, believe it or not, we have different cals, but they'll end up being the same spark, relevers, everything. So to us, it'll be the same kit. So we'll only really have two part numbers, stage 1, stage 2. And from there, the only difference is in the calibration side of it.
Got it. I know no official horsepower numbers have been released for this yet here at all. Am I calling you out? Are you going to use the safe word or no?
No, I'm
safe
good.
word?
We're good. Yeah, no.
No safe word. All right, got it. Right.
No.
So we haven't seen dyno numbers really released. I mean, I know that, Ford Performance put out a video of it on the dyno and like cut it short and stuff like that on the engine dyno, right?
Right, yeah.
I definitely have not seen any dyno results, possibly some testing, but I mean, listen, on a stage, if you were going to say, what do you feel that the stage ones are going to make on a GT?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about what type of power the stage 2 will be putting out on a GT? And then we should probably get a pretty good idea of what the Dark Horse is going to make based on it making 20, more horsepower than the GT. So where are you at?
Yeah, there's one thing to note is that the Dark Horse has a freer flowing exhaust, and it does actually show on the chassis dyno and the engine dyno. So the Dark Horse power, so the powers that we're usually talking about would be the Dark Horse, because we see about 7 to 10 horsepower higher with those than the GT. But I would say that the stage 1 has to be just a tick over 800 horsepower to the flywheel, and the stage 2 needs to be about 50 horsepower better than that.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much was my guess yesterday when we're doing our unboxing video here, saying, hey, I remember the S550 kit came out and we got on our 18 car, or the 18 version of it, and that kit I think made close to or right about 700 wheel horsepower.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty damn good number, being that our car stock put down just under 400 wheel horsepower. I was hoping to hit that 400 wheel horsepower mark, but if you don't realize, you put this blower kit on it, make 300 wheel horsepower more than it did from the factory with, a 50 state legal calibration, and
it's crazy numbers that we would have never honestly anticipated never before, right? And it's like, I mean, and it's just purely octane limited, right? They had just a touch more octane, the power just climbs and climbs, right? It just it's quite incredible, right? So here we're stuck on 91 fuel. You get the 93 benefit. Anybody in the world that gets the 93 just makes that much more power. We build the kit basically on 91, but it has an ability to adapt now to the different octane levels in different places. And so the guys with 93 are really, really going to see some good gains, So I would say the rear wheels needs to, if you're not seeing a 7, then it probably, something's probably wrong.
Right there, you guys heard it. I mean, this stuff's all been under the wraps for a while. It's been quite quiet for some time.
Exactly.
And I'm usually the one to leak stuff out there and stuff. I'm trying to be respectful as possible to my friend over here and not get him in any trouble or anything like that.
Right.
I'm really good at getting him in trouble. So
maybe so I've been like 15 years in the running.
Is to not get Dustin or any of his crew in trouble anymore, or try to at least not to.
Yeah, and it's still PRI though,
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, a whack job. All right, so let's move on over to this right here, because guys want to know, hey, that's the biggest question: is Whipple able to tune them? How do they have this kit? Are they able to tune the vehicle? Well, the answer is yes. They'll be tuning with this device right here. This is their Tomahawk flash device. I'm not sure if this is the most recent version or not, but I know you were saying you do have a new version coming out.
Yeah, we have that's the V1. We have the V2 with it's a nicer screen. Just got a couple of cool features that we've added to it. But so we definitely can tune. The calibration will be just like now, where you connect to the car. It pings it, tells us what cal ID, you send that to us, and then we send you the correct calibration for your application. So definitely
put that little SD card right on the back here. Pop that out. You load the file that Whipple sends you onto the SD card, put it in there, plug it into the vehicle, and follow the prompts on how to flash the vehicle, right? It's really not that difficult.
Exactly. And a lot of people ask about the over-the-air. When we flash it, the over-the-air for the PCM does not ever get updated. So you don't have to worry about over the air, and all the other modules will be able to update just like normal. So you can update your sync modules or any of the other modules just like you would normal. But the PCM will never give you that option. So the PCM will stay as is, and we do update as as required. If there's a TSB or anything like that, we update the cals.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, this over the air stuff's crazy,
Oh yeah,
man. I mean,
absolutely.
that people worry about. They're like, oh, what happens if they push an update? Your calibration will not get changed. I don't think you're also you're saying like your user options, if you use ForeScan to change some options, like almost like the Bronco.
Yeah.
Some vehicles don't have sport mode or whatever mode, and you can use ForeScan to do it. People worry about when they flash the vehicle with your calibration, will that lose those parameters? It does not
No.
change the user preferences that you change with ForeScan.
Exactly. Yep. The only thing with ForeScan is generally they don't recognize our cal ID, so you have to enter the stock cal ID to get around that.
Okay.
So you just because our cals are built off the stock cal IDs, so if you put stock cal ID in there, then any of those extra functions for like the double honk or any of those features that you want to modify, that all still works. You just have to use a stock cal ID.
Awesome. Other things that this device does, I know that it data logs, correct?
Yep. Data logs, you can check your monitors. It read and erase codes, and obviously we can do updates with that. You can do a relearn on the TCM if needed as well. So there's some cool features. We're actually consistently adding newer features as well to it.
Are you able to do a crank relearn yet on
Yep.
the 20? Okay,
Yep.
because I know we've got an aftermarket clutch coming that we're going to be installing. And I know that most of the time you've got to do a crank relearn on it. So it's good to know that you have the ability to do that. Also, gear ratios and tire sizes as well?
Yep, both those are options in there, and we've we changed the windows a little bit to give you ability for for different drag tires and stuff like that. So that's all pre-done in the calibration.
Awesome. Now the cal itself, people are like, hey, am I sacrificing anything from the factory on there? And I typically do always mention that your guys' calibrations always still keep all of the safety features from the factory in there, meaning you're still monitoring spark and not, knock with the knock sensors. You've got the wide bands in there and stuff like that. So the safety features are pretty much all in place, correct? From factory?
That's right. Yep, exactly. And there's a fine line, because they always ask, does it, lower the life of the engine? It's like, well, I mean, we're adding 300 horsepower. Of course, it's going to lower the life to some degree. Yes. Now, generally speaking, you're not wide open throttle everywhere you go. The mid-range torque is significant. So, we still have to pass, durability type testing, and we try to make it as safe as humanly possible. But we also push it. There's not a lot left on the table with stock exhaust and 91 octane fuel. There's just not much there. We ran many different cam, positions. It's mapped in every different position during testing. We run in the wind tunnel from, negative 20 degrees all the way up to 130 Fahrenheit, uphill, downhill. We've done all these different types of tests to build what we consider the best calibration we've ever done.
Yeah, I mentioned that as well. In there, like, whether you're out in Fresno where it's like 220 degrees Fahrenheit most of the year
exactly.
or you're
normal summer
up in like northern states, up by Canada, where it's really cold climates and stuff like that.
Yep.
Your calibration will be fine for those types of applications, correct?
Exactly. And the throttle is adaptive. So the throttle, what it does is when it starts dropping below a certain temperature, it'll actually start limiting the power. It'll still hold the claimed power, but it will start to back it down, because people don't realize when you drop from, say, 7 Fahrenheit to 0 Fahrenheit, you can pick up 100 horsepower. And the problem is the motor can't take the 100 horsepower on that type of octane fuel, right? So then the throttle will start to just pull back a little bit to keep it in that 800 horsepower range. And so that's a very unique feature. And same with hot temp, right? If the intercooler fails and like that, it starts limiting the throttle angle, the spark, everything as well. So there's a lot of safety built into the system.
Awesome. Love hearing this stuff, man. And like other people say, oh, how's it drive? Is it gonna be difficult to drive with all that extra horsepower? We're talking 300 wheel horsepower more than stock. Yeah. I always tell people this thing drives just like the car drives normally around town. I mean, you're not actually in boost. It's not like you're driving around and you're seeing 12 pounds of boost and full throttle all the time. I mean, you can even just slowly go through the RPMs, shifting through the gears and go through the RPMs and actually bring it up through most of the RPM range without it actually seeing boost until you actually give it a certain amount of throttle, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah. I mean, both the manual and auto. Just, what we try to do is we try to do a blend, and it is never perfect for everybody, but we try to make it to where you're driving somewhat like stock to a certain pedal angle, right? So it should feel very stockish for any normal driving in city traffic, in parking lots, that kind of stuff. And then we progressively get more aggressive with it, and that's where it gets really fun. So you basically have the best of both worlds, whereas you could obviously be very aggressive, but then some people don't like that. So we try to blend the two, for a happy spot. Like I said, it's not perfect for everybody, but we try to get it the best for the most.
Of course. No, you got to have it that way. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone wants something different. If you make something that is a pretty good fit for everyone, I think, you do your best by pleasing everyone and what their wants and needs are.
Yeah.
And, again, you could drive to the through without any problem. You could drive to the grocery store, you drive your kids to the soccer game, whatever you want with this setup, or
Exactly.
take the drag strip.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, and we keep all the modes, right? So drag mode, and track mode, sport mode, snow mode. Those are all still there, and each are enhanced in a way. Snow mode generally is very similar to stock, but because that's a more safety feature. But like track mode and sport mode, we we modify those for what we feel is a better fit for the power you got.
Awesome, dude. Trying to think if there's anything that I did not cover. Oh yeah, so check this out. I believe this may be the first actual production kit that has shipped. Is that,
Yep.
do I have that?
Yep, you do.
Just like old times, buddy.
That's right.
Good, man. It feels good. It's been a great partnership
That's
with
right.
every kit that comes out, at least for the vehicles that we cater to.
Yep.
Us being the ones to get them and having a car to test it on and having a good time with it, pushing the content. You know what I mean? It's worked out really good for us.
Absolutely. I think it's been great. It's obviously a friendship, built off of that, and it's been an amazing time for sure.
Of course.
Looking forward to the future.
Dude, I'm so happy that Dustin finally met my father out in Vegas for the
That's
first
right.
time.
I mean, how long has it been, right? I finally got to meet your dad.
2005. So we're talking,
Gosh.
18 plus years, 18 years or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got to meet Pops. Yeah.
He asked my father, what the hell happened to Jared? Now that I met you, I need to ask you, what the hell happened to your son? And my dad really can't explain it,
That's right. And you got to meet your brother too.
Yeah, my brother as well. And they got to meet the family too, which is great, man.
Yeah, exactly. So that was great.
We're getting ready to slap this thing on the car, man.
Yep.
We'll chat about that, but we're gonna get this thing on the car. We throw a whole bunch of other parts on there, and I'm gonna take the manual car down the track and have some fun with it, see what it does. We're gonna do some dyno testing, driving reviews, the whole nine.
Yep.
I cannot wait to actually see this thing on top of the car running. It's exciting,
Yeah, this is big. It's a big moment right here, because this is a popular car right now. So this is big for all of us.
I won't let you down, Dad. I won't let you down. People are asking, when are you looking to start shipping production kits? Dustin, lead times. Go ahead.
Yeah, so our goal is to start shipping in January 2024, and the order banks should be opening very, very soon, and so that should slot it in for starting to fulfill in the January timeframe.
Awesome. I'm not quite sure about Black Friday sale on these blowers yet, but Whipple Superchargers will be a part of our Black Friday Cyber Monday sales extravaganza.
That's right.
Got to get this guy right here to get it done and send me the info. Come on, Dusty, let's go. So for all you guys out there that are waiting for the release, listen, it's just complicated stuff. They're trying to get through it, and we'll have the info out shortly, right?
Yep. Very, very soon. 2 weeks.
Matt's probably watching and listening right now, cringing, dude. He's like, I think I asked him for Black Friday stuff back in January or something like that.
Yeah, but I thought you were talking about last Black Friday. You were talking about this one?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It will be part of it. So you guys definitely, obviously, you'll see here at Lethal Performance. We'll get it out there to everyone and stuff like that. And you have an opportunity to purchase a Whipple kit at a great price from the best in the business. And you get the best supercharger in the industry, period. Right. There you go, bro. Anything else that you think you want to highlight or touch on this kit before we wrap this up or anything like that? Anything you got to say? You want to give some shout outs or anything like that? Top of the food chain.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to thank Ford for building an amazing car. While some of the other ones have faded away, we definitely, I think, have to respect that Ford has continued to build a V8 muscle car, and we're really proud to be able to work with Ford. It's a big program for all of us, and like I said, it's this world with EVs and V6s, inline sixes, and all these other applications going away and stuff. This is a very cool project for all of us. So I'm really excited about it.
Same here, man. Well, I can't wait to get this thing on the car. You'll definitely be in the loop about everything, man. We'll catch up
Yep.
later. I want to thank Dustin for taking the time to talk to us all day and go over all this stuff, and also for building such awesome supercharger kits. Just like you said, how Ford is continuing to keep the passion alive, building
Yep.
those cars. You keep our passion in the aftermarket alive as well by continuing to make superchargers like this, as well as improving them
Yep.
as we go along. So good job, man.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's a passion that my dad started, and I've helped continue it. Like I said, we're still a family business, and
Art.
we do our best. We work crazy hours, and we try to kick ass as much as we can and grow as fast as we can. It's been a crazy time the last few years.
Yeah, man. All for the passion for an automobile, and I know boats as well. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The need for speed.
that's
So
right.
also send my regards. Tell everyone over there I said hello, man. All right, Mom.
Absolutely will do.
Tell everyone to say what's up. Thank you again, Dustin Whipple. I love you,
Love you too,
man.
man.
I can't wait. Let's get this Black Friday stuff wrapped up. Come on, boy.
2 weeks.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right.
I'm
See you,
out here.
everyone.
Later,
All
guys.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.